According to an analysis of Census Bureau data, the nation's total undocumented immigrant population reached 11 million in 2011. This proposal addresses the specific social problem relating to states' rights in passing immigration reform within our borders. Immigration reform must be handled federally, as states are not allowed to establish policies involving foreign countries. A number of highly salient proposals have been introduced in the United States Congress since 2005, but none have been able to muster enough support from both chambers and the executive branch to lead to a successful passage. Therefore, this has led states to take it upon themselves to react to this growing crisis. This becomes a massive issue with different states implementing different policies. The United States is in need of a consistent, temporary resolution to states battling with undocumented immigrants, while federal government continues to debate national law. Arizona was the first state to create a bill seeking to resolve the immigration issue within their borders with their enactment of SB 1070. This bill allowed any lawful contact made by a law enforcement official or agency of the state where reasonable suspicion exists that the person is an alien who is unlawfully present in the United States. A reasonable attempt should be made to determine the immigration status of that person. The consequence of the bill's passing was not in Arizona's favor. Aside from controversy from the rest of the nation regarding the encouragement of racial profiling, Arizona's economy suffered tremendously as enforcement policies outside the workplace drove many unauthorized immigrants from the state, lowered the state's population, hobbled the labor market, accelerated the residential property price declines, and exacerbated the Great Recession in Arizona. Despite the legal and economic ramifications, 23 other state legislators, including Georgia, passed similar bills based off of SB 1070, all signing these into law December 2011. The federal policy I'm proposing, Temporary Relief to Immigration Reform Act of 2015, will automatically eliminate all existing immigration laws passed by state legislators and create a temporary, consistent policies states may choose to adopt. This policy aims to coordinate an effective immigration law that is consistent throughout the nation, regardless of a state's previous legislation. The goals of this policy are to secure national borders from the continued flux of illegal immigrants and to identify and assist undocumented workers that are or have been residing in the United States. Ultimately, this policy would seek to create a preliminary immigration reform that, once temporary order was maintained, would work to establish a strictly controlled border from Central America, equality and citizenship for immigrants who have already crossed the border, and a steady and controlled regulation of new immigrants through the rewarding of U.S. visas. According to the Pew Research 2012 survey of Mexican adults, more than half, 53%, believed that Mexicans who moved to the United States had a better life, and among adults, 38% said that they would move to the United States if they had the means to do so. 18% would come with authorization, and 19% would come to the United States without authorization. It is evident that Central Americans want to move to the United States and will continue to illegally unless the federal government takes action. There are no provisions for determining the effectiveness of this policy, as an all-encompassing immigration policy similar to this has never been passed. The various states that have passed laws have been somewhat effective. However, this is because they are temporarily pushing immigrants to other states without any sort of integrative legislation. As a nation created and formed by immigration, our citizens should be understanding of their immigrant counterparts, legal or not, that seek better lives and contribute culturally and economically to our country. Also, legalization of previously undocumented immigrants will create a boost to the local economies with workforce growth and creation of more jobs. It is understandable, however, for some Americans to feel that the facilities and rights they pay and support in their taxes should be granted to them and their legal counterparts only. But I would respond to this argument saying that this is the effort that my policy is trying to change. It is trying to make these undocumented immigrants legal and begin paying into our system. It is creating strong border patrol to handle the flux of these illegal immigrants and their families that come to our country in refuge seeking a better life. While this better life may include additional costs for all, these immigrants will become contributing members to our society and share their experiences in a way that will positively benefit our country.